Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Stable. Today I'm super excited to be joined with Freddy Steele. I'm actually super excited for this episode because we've had like dressage riders, show jumpers, eventers, but we've not really had anyone in your space per se.
Yeah.
So I'd class you as like a performer and trainer. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to speak about it. I want you to treat me, like I've just said this off camera, but I want you to treat me like I'm stupid and go into the detail because I feel like a lot of people have probably heard of kind of the things you do, but don't know how you get there. Do you know
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with like a bit of a tricky question. And I want to
Thanks.
know how, if someone was to meet you for the first time, maybe at a clinic, a demo, maybe they've just watched you perform, and they hear the name Freddy Steele after that, what would you hope that they're thinking? Or like, what would you hope that they'd take away from seeing you?
So if someone saw me for the first time, I'd want them to be inspired to go and work their horse, to go and learn some new things, to go and just go out there with their horse and do something different, do something new, be inspired to go and work the horse, work something else and do things like that.
I think that's a perfect answer because I seen you at the National Equine Show and that's how I came away after listening to you speak on that panel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's perfect.
I just want people to be inspired to do something, anything, but go and get your horse out and go and do something with that.
I want to go right back to the start of your journey.
Yeah.
And speak about how you got into horses, and then we'll work our way through your entire journey, and I'll probably pop some questions in.
How long we got?
We'll try to stick to an hour. So yeah, take me to the start.
So the start was fairly normal. Pony club. I was doing pony club rallies, hunter trials, things like that. Learning how to stay on, and then jumping higher and higher, going faster and faster. That's what I wanted to do. And that carried on till I was about 12 years old. And then where I was doing the pony club...
What age was it when you started riding?
4.
Okay,
so I started at 4.
Was your family horsey?
Mum was horsey, so she took me to the riding schools. I got a share pony, and that's the pony that I then did all the pony club on.
Yeah.
And then we changed area, so I couldn't ride that share pony anymore. And we moved to where Mum had a friend, but she had a 16-hand horse, and I was 12.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a pony. So I had to make the jump at that age to learn to ride properly, not just stay on. So at that age, I started to learn more what it was about, the horse behaviour, horse psychology, everything like that. And then riding as well, not just staying on as my little legs trying to get over the flaps. I say little nowadays, I've got the longest stirrups of anyone. But back then it was like on a big horse when I was 12.
Did someone teach you that side of it? Or did you pick it up?
So Mum had a friend that was a professional, and she was very good. So she taught me that on her own personal horse. So I went very much into learn to ride properly, more dressage side, more horsemanship side. And that's what started a little bit more fueling my passion for horse behaviour and horse psychology. What can the horse actually do? How can we get what we want out of the horse in a nice way, where the horse wants to try, the horse wants to learn. And what can the horse actually do? Because a lot of the time, we do dressage, jumping or cross country, but the horses can do so much more. They can literally do anything. So that was part of what can we get the horse to do? How can we help horses? How can we help humans and the relationships there? So then I went on to doing an apprenticeship at a horsemanship training yard. So they took in horses that needed rehabilitation and behavioural problems and things like that. So I did that for 6 years and learned how to help horses resolve problems. And that was really where I wanted to be. That's what gave me the drive and things like that. Because I was helping other horses. I was helping horses sort of find where they fitted in the society and what they were good at, what they weren't so good at, how to help them with things they weren't good at. And then, from there, got into the stunt side of things. So at that point, I wanted to start my own business with the horse training and the problem solving, but I didn't want to just go and get a yard and solely do that. So it was by chance I went into the stunt world. And
What age were you when you started the stunt?
Stunts. What was I? 20, maybe. Yeah, around 20. I then got into that side of things because I wanted to rent a stable and a field for my own business, and they had one available. They were like, if you come and be a student for us and learn to do the stunts, ride on set, come and work our yard, do things like that, then you can run your own business on the side. So that happened for 3 years. And then I went off on my own, got the experience in both fields.
What was your business when you were doing that? Just
the
training
problem
horses?
solving, the problem solving on the side of that. So nowadays it's sort of come together from that. So I had a performance side with them, and that's where I learnt the trick riding. And
can we dive into learning that?
Yeah,
like how that process went.
So a lot of it happened in Russia, with the Cossacks. So the Cossacks are notoriously quite hardy. They're quite strong. Everything about the horse, the life revolved around the horses. And the Russians, particularly Russian athletes, don't do anything by halves.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of strict, regimented training. I trained every day.
Was that scary moving across? How long were you?
I didn't move to Russia.
Okay,
so
how long were you
I went
there?
to Russia about 3 times a year, and then I had video lessons in England.
Oh, okay.
Over there. I would send them in videos and do it all like that in between when I was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was for about 2.5 years. I did that, and that was quite cool. Like there were times where I'd literally, so you got to have straight legs and pointed toes. Think gymnastics, right? It's gymnastics on horseback. So you hear stories out there of if their legs aren't straight, they get stones thrown at them. And I can quite believe, it sounds nuts, but I can quite believe it. So like things out here to help get my legs straighter, like you wouldn't believe it. You'd sort of splint your legs. So you'd put either side and you'd wrap round to keep your legs straight.
And you did this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I did it. Because like I need to train my body to be, because I'm not a gymnast. I'm not built like a gymnast. They're all short, they're all hench, and they're all really stocky, and I'm not that build. But I had the sort of gymnastic-y side. I always did athletics, high jump. I could do that. But what I did miss out on when I started at 20 is they've all been doing it from this high. You look at gymnasts, you look at dancers, they've all been doing it from. So I was a bit behind in that sense. So I was just trying everything I could to teach my body where it needed to be.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
yeah, it was a lot of regimented training.
Do you remember the first trick that you learned?
Yeah, the first trick I learned was the full trick was to lay across the saddle. So the horse is going that way, and you're laying flat like a plank of wood over the horse. yeah, absolutely. Because you got to remain flat, and the horse is trying to move you out the way, and you just want to end up like a fish, like flop to either side. Like that's the usual. So yeah, no, that was great fun. It was wicked. Going to Russia was amazing. The people there are amazing.
How did the opportunity to do that come about?
So where I was doing the apprenticeship and working at the stunt place, they were in charge of the British team because there's actually a sport with trick riding and the weapons work they do.
Yeah.
So they were involved in the British team. So as I trained and got better, I then went involved in that, and then made friends in Russia, and then it sort of came about like that, really. So that was super cool because I got to go over there. They were just normal horse people. It's not what you see on the news, on the media. It's just like nice people that love their horses.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, have a drink, all the politics are gone, learn their culture. I love going to different cultures and learning about how they work with horses. So I learnt the trick side of things there, and the standing up on them and all that side of things, and then had my horse training side, where with that I learnt laying it down, liberty, how to get the calmness, how to get things like that, and more of the dressage side. So that it's just come together. So nowadays I've got a show which sort of involves a bit of everything within what we've spoke about there, and then I still have some horses in for training as well, clients' horses. Some that have problems, some that not so much, some that even want their horse to come to the shows with me. So then their horse can be and do and have a horse. They're like, I want my horse to be able to go around and do fire with one hand and all the people, because if it can do that, it can go for a hack or it can do anything. So yeah, that's where sort of business has taken me.
Already know, this podcast is powered by Atlantic Harmony Equestrian, which is my equestrian clothing brand. I'm currently repping the navy quarter zip. We also have hoodies, t-shirts, leggings, beanies, literally all sorts. If you want to have a look and check out some of our collections, you can head across to www.atlanticharmonyequestrian.co.uk. Do During the
nowadays.
period when you were in Russia, were you performing then or were you just learning?
So I was learning and competing in Russia. So they had competitions in Russia.
What are they like?
Well contested. Yeah, well contested. So imagine like nowadays there's getting less and less competition centres here. But imagine like, I guess where we have competitions now, a few in each county.
Yeah.
They'd have the same in Russia, but in the sport of it's called jigotovka. That's how the Russians say it, and that's the trick riding with the weapons.
And how do they judge stuff like that?
So they judge it on a score. So with your weapons, it's a target. So how close to the middle you hit the target is a certain score, and then the tricks, it's a mark out of 10 for each trick.
Okay.
And then times by the difficulty of the trick. So a level 1 trick, there's a book of tricks. Level 1 tricks are all out of 10, maximum of 10. Level 2 tricks are again all out of 10. So say if I got a 10, you times it by 2, you get 20 points. So the tricks are done on difficulty, and then you get a score for how well you do it, based on how elegant it is, how softly you land back in the saddle, how smooth the rhythm is and the rhythm of the horse, so you're working together. So all the things like that are taken into account.
How did you get on competing? Did you enjoy it?
All right, I loved it, to be fair. It was one of those that was like, there aren't competitions over here. So it was train.
There's nothing over here, not even now?
No. There's not enough people that do it. It's such a small sport. So there's no competitions over here. So I'd go over there. By the time I was over there, it was either the World Championships or I was against a load of Russians.
And you would be riding on a horse you've not met, I assume?
Yeah, so it's horse picked out of a hat, that's your horse.
That's how it works for everyone?
Everyone. Oh, okay. Everyone's like that. In the international competitions, in their own ones, they can ride their own horses. So yeah, the thing of it was, I was going over there and it was always a big competition. So I always felt a lot of pressure to do well because I didn't have the training competitions to go there. But having said that, it was great. I managed to get to 9th in the world.
That's amazing.
In 2019, which was cool. I felt I could have done more, but in the situation that it was at the
so
time,
hard on yourself. You're literally so talented and you're like, yeah, I could have done more.
At the time I couldn't, but it's one of those things, like what I needed was more competition experience, but I could only afford to go to Russia so much. And so with what we had at the time, it was awesome. It was wicked to go out there and train and throw myself into that for 3 years.
Would you fly across on your own or was there someone you'd go with?
No, I fly on my own.
That's so scary. In your 20s as well?
Yeah, it's cool because when we went out to the first one, I met them all and they're really nice. It was like, right, come back for training. I'd stay at their flat with them. We'd go to the stables with them. They didn't speak much English, but it was fine. It was cool. They just, I love exploring. I love the travelling, the adventure, and they're nice. They're really nice people.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Like, really
sounds
nice
amazing.
people. So yeah, travelling actually with the horses is something I've done.
Where did you go after Russia? What was next?
So during the same sort of time as Russia, I did some horse archery because horse archery was one of the weapons we did in that sport. So to improve that, I did some horse archery competitions.
Yeah.
So I've been to Mongolia to do that, Poland as well, South Korea, because that's a slightly bigger sport than the Cossack sport. So travelled a little bit with that again. Meeting the people through the same network, so that was super cool. And then more recently, Portugal. So my girlfriend's always had Lusitano horses and done work in equitation. And we always have a bit of a joke because she was 6th in the world the same year and I was 9th, so it's like got to swallow that one. But she is mega, she's super cool. But she's always been to Portugal with her horses, so another culture. And I've always been interested in Andalusians, Lusitanos, and Spain, Portugal throughout all of it. It's sort of been my draw, those type of horses. And then I meet her, and she's out in Portugal with her horses and stuff like that, and competing internationally as well. So then we've now actually developed a horse holiday to Portugal. So because we go out there and supply horses, find horses for clients and get our own horses from there and have good relations with them over there, we've teamed up with our friends for a big, you might have actually seen it on the socials, the horse going to the bar, and you drink on the horse. So that's a big annual fair each November. So we've organised now a package where you can come, you can ride our horses, our schoolmasters, nice wines, there's a wine tour, ride in the bars, everything around there.
That sounds amazing.
Everything around there is now all in one package and stay in the village, because again, it's a massive cultural thing for them. It's just like horse people celebrating horses, and you think show parties are good, like this is like
Next level.
next level, yeah. So now we're branching, doing that in Portugal at the moment, and who knows, it may venture out into other, because there's so many horse celebration things around the world, and different ways and different cultures doing things, and I love that. I love the travelling and the.
Do you have a favourite place you visited?
Ooh. That's put me on the spot. That's a question. So they're all amazing for different things. Mongolia. So I've got loads of good friends in Portugal and Russia. But Mongolia, what stood out for me is the freedom and the lifestyle. Live off the land. There's no fences. Your horses all went out at night, 3 tied together just with a neck collar, so they didn't go too far. And you keep one at camp, and you go round it up the next day, and you'd hunt with your eagle, and you just live off the land. It's just like, this is cool. This is not like anything I've seen. The horses will. I was going over thinking they'd be malnourished, but they're living off natural herbs, so they don't need any of these fancy supplements we give our horses. They've got them all naturally there on the. So yeah, that was incredible.
How long were you across there for?
I was in Mongolia for 10 days, I think. 10 days doing a competition out there, and then got to see a little bit of the culture. But again, the travelling with it is, amazing. So nowadays, when I'm trying to do everything here and got the team and the shows, and that, I can do it less. But yeah, we still go to Portugal 3 or 4 times a year. And I want to branch out and offer these experiences to other people.
Yeah, because it's not something many people have got access to.
It's not something that's easy to do, no. But I'm working with Carvago at the moment. You might have noticed them. They are not just horse holidays, but it's like a TripAdvisor, right, for horses. So you go on there, and they've got all these different people, different places. Again, making it accessible. And why I get on with them so well is because we've got the same vision. I've done these experiences, let's make these accessible, and the same thing. So that's how, in the future, I'm trying to hopefully come and do what I've done and what I'm speaking about and these cool things. Hunting on horses with eagles, like nuts, absolutely nuts thing to say, particularly in this country. But yeah, it's like, where do I sign up? Where do I do that?
Yeah, no, it sounds so cool.
Yeah,
amazing.
So that's where I want to sort of go with it, if you like. Have that side of things. So I could do horse holidays in the winter, right, and train my own horses, so I get some nice sun and some better weather, and then come back in the summer and do some shows. Like that's the goal. That's where we want to be.
Do you still compete now, or would you like to do more?
So I compete a little bit. I do compete a little bit. I've got a warm blood. I'm competing in dressage at the moment. Well, actually, I'm not yet. He's going to come out in September. So he's working behind the scenes. He's really cool. And I do a little bit of competition in working equitation, which is what Holly does. But I do the sort of the younger horses. So I've done the younger horses, and then she'll take them on a little bit. It's trying to juggle everything. So I do want to. It's good fun. It's a great sport, but it's a case of finding the time and having the right horse, because I don't do anything by halves. So if I compete, I want to go in there with a good horse and do well and see where we can go, rather than just dip in. Like, I want to do it properly. So at the minute I'm prioritising the shows and the show team for next year, and then do you have
a favourite thing to compete in, whether it be the archery, the stunts, the working equitation, dressage?
Working equitation
is your favourite.
Working equitation.
Why?
It's 3 phases. So you've got your dressage phase. So that covers the dressage aspect of it. If you do one phase badly, you've got another 2 to make it up as well. And the speed round, the 3rd round of it, is literally like, it's a bit more than gymkhana. It's a bit more technical, but basically you're going around obstacles as fast as you can.
Yeah, I've had a go at it. It's hard. So hard.
It's hard.
I had 2 lessons in it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
But it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So it's like you get that adrenaline. It's like as fast as you, it's literally a race, as fast as you can. But you need to have the accuracy in the training. Yeah. So it sort of combines the adrenaline fueled let's go with you've got to have a bit like eventing, I suppose. You've got to have the foundation underneath, but then you can have a let's go, let's beat the time, so that's probably my favourite.
As you've been growing up through everything we've just speaking about, did you have like an influence that you looked up to, or someone who inspired what you do?
Yes, and it's sort of, I've always looked up to certain people, and the sort of different people come along as sort of my careers sort of changed and taken different paths and stuff like that. So I've always been massively inspired by Western horsemanship. Tom Dorrance, you might not even know the name. It's an old cowboy that just was cool. He was just cool. As a cowboy, the horses were great. The training philosophies they just resonated with me quite a lot growing up when I was first into the sort of psychology stuff behind it. And then more recently, going forward into the stunts and the tricks and stuff like that, a guy I trained with, Sergey Murugov, he was a world champion, and just the structure, the discipline, it was just like, wow, this is how you get good. Anna Sokolska as well, she's another friend of mine that taught me in the archery. Those two guys have been the leads in their sports around the world, like internationally, and the discipline really stuck out.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a nice person, you can be talented, and you can be disciplined, and it's like just shows the hard work gets the result. And I think seeing that and them teaching me and mentoring me in those things and like seeing it firsthand just makes it even more like it's achievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's achievable. And then more recently, Manuel Vega. His family bred Lusitano horses through the generations. He's one of the founder studs of the breed when it first started. And he is a very good dressage rider, used to be working equitation rider as well. And he does flying changes, backwards, one hand with a glass in his hand, one horse in front doing it, behind, like, it's just like, wow. Wow, we call him the master of flying changes. It's just like super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So him, and then some of the guys that perform, Lorenzo, Frederick Pignon, some of those guys as well, from a performance side of things. Incredible. Really, really
Is
cool.
there a piece of advice to any of these people that have given you that sticks out?
Yeah.
What is it? Can you share with us?
Yeah. Don't try and compete against anyone else. Compete against yourself. Because I was stuck for a time being like, looking at my start list of who I'm against. It's like, I can beat them. I can beat them. I can beat them. And putting that pressure on to beat someone else. And it's okay to a certain level, but then like when you want to be the top, compete against yourself, and the results actually are better. I found, like, trying it and working through sports with sports psychologists and stuff, competing against yourself, being better than yourself. It's a bit cliche in that sense, but when you're a competitive person and you're in a competition, it's like they are your competition, but not seeing it like that, seeing it in a different way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like, made results better, made me ride better. Like, that's stuck out all the years, definitely.
No, that's good advice. We spoke about the competing side, and now I want to speak about the performance side of things. Take me through that.
So I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I've got a lot of friends in the performance world that do amazing things with horses. We do the county show
For anyone
circuits.
who's not seen your reels or hasn't seen you in real life, speak me through how would you even describe what you do in your performances? We'll put a clip on screen, but for audio listeners, you're going to have to describe it.
Okay, so it's a performance, like a theatre production, equestrian theatre production. That's how I describe it. So
Yeah.
I want to entertain anyone at these shows, horsey, non-horsey, and take them through a story of, like you would at a theatre, like you would at a play. There's a story, there's a start, there's a finish, there's characters, there's all of that side of things. Rather than just put horses in the show doing cool stuff, which is super cool, I want to take a slightly different angle on it and see if we can make a story.
Yeah.
out
Has that
of it.
always been your angle?
No.
This is new.
No, this is the
Ish.
last couple of years.
Yeah.
I've gone, actually, that we can make a story out of it. Because I've always wanted to do shows. I was like,
Yeah.
let's do the cool things with the horses. That's what I love doing. But I've got a good friend that's writes plays, writes scripts, and is an actor and a horse rider as well. So we sort of, when I was telling him my ideas, he's like, let's make let's make this an actual show
Yeah.
with a storyline, with a theatre production.
Which is so cool.
Because no one really does it in this country, because it's so hard, right? In order to have a good theatre, you need inside, you need a venue, you need light, you need sound, you need rehearsal, you need this, you need the people to come.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. Any event at the minute, it's just like it's
Difficult.
difficult to run. So we're trying to do it to start with outside at the county shows. We get bookings like that, and then give them a bit of a show. So obviously we can't play with the light that much. We're outside, but this year, for example, we did a show called Olympus, which is a show about the Olympic flame. So obviously, being the Olympic year, we wrote a show that was about the time how the Olympic flame started and how that whole Olympics started. So we looked into the history, we found the gods and goddesses and characters, and we made a fire show with our horses.
Yeah.
So we had some horses loose with the fire, some horses we rode with a garrocha, a long pole that they would have used traditionally for helping her cattle, but now we have some fire on it and make it into a show. So we spin underneath, we stand on the horses doing the Roman riding, again, all with fire, all with a storyline, with us playing different characters and the narrator narrating the story.
How long are these performances?
Half an hour performances. And that's been really great this year. Been really well received. Being the Olympics, it fitted in. We managed to just hit the jackpot with the idea. So now we're coming up for a new idea for next year.
Yeah.
So we'll do similar things with the horses. We'll have some new elements. Maybe without the fire, we might, I don't know, have something else, light or water or something. There'll be another story we're going to come up with new characters, but a lot of the performance stuff will be very similar. Obviously, we're going to develop stuff. We've got new horses. We've got new stuff coming in. But actually, we want to make a story so the kids can follow the story. They can have the hero. They can have the villain. They can support their side.
That's so cool.
As well as seeing amazing horsemanship. Like that's sort of where we want to.
So as you're prepping for next year now, what's the process that you go along? Do you write the script first, then find the horses? Like, how does it go?
So I've got some of our horses already that we used last year. But a lot of them have got dual jobs. A lot of them have got to compete and be competition horses, and that's the priority. And then they can do the shows when they're available. So the main thing this winter has been gaining horses, because I need horses that are show horses that I can take to all the shows. They're going to have a performance year.
Yeah.
To some level, you can just get any horse, but you need time. You need time with the horse to train them, train the ideas you want to do, and things like that. So this winter's, this autumn, this end of summer, we're not even there yet. I won't speak winter up too soon. This end of summer has been about recruiting new horses. So we've got some cool new horses coming to the fray. And I'm going to train ideas. So all winter, I'm going to train ideas. I'm going to train stuff I want in the show, some cool things. We've got the stuff we've done last year that we'll just remind the horses every now and again. And then come autumn, winter, we'll have come up with a script and an idea.
Yeah.
So by that time, we'll have a story.
How many of you write the script?
So me and
just the two of you?
Yeah, the two of us write it and the horsemanship into the story and make it make sense. And then once we've got the story and we've got what we want in each section, I'll then ring my friends that have performed and be like, right, come in for this section, and then we'll bring in the personnel and if we need any extra horses. And
how many
like
horses and people does it normally?
So we usually have between 4 and 6 horses.
Yeah.
And then people's usually around 9 because you have people on the ground performing. So last year we had like a circus performer that spun stuff around his head. Madness. So whether we have that exact thing again, probably not with the fire, but another aspect.
Yeah.
Because I don't just want horses, I want dancers sometimes, and sometimes the performers on the ground. Then we've got some grooms. So it's a bigger operation. Yeah. So 4 to 6 horses, 4 to 6 performers, whether it's 4 on the ground, 4 on board, 2 on the ground, it'll sort of work itself out as the content of what the horses do comes into play throughout the winter, really. And then the show sort of is then like, there's the plan, there's the goal, now we need to make props, now we need to get the other riders over to train and practice and make it all smooth and as good as it can.
Do you have a favourite performance
That I've done?
Yeah.
Yes. So I I think a highlight was the game fair we did this year. Massive show, massive show. It was super fun to be part of. It was the last show we've most recently done. So we'd had 3 shows before that. So we'd sort of got everything. I say everything together. Shows never go perfect, ever go perfect, but everything sort of was coming together, and so that was a really nice one to do. It's a big stage. It was nice. The horses were incredible. Like that was wicked. That was good fun.
I was gutted. I was meant to go to that, and
were you?
I think I got someone booked in for a podcast last minute. I was like, oh damn it! I know I've got Freddie coming in. I wanted to go watch.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. And then I've done shows for other people before as well, and Hoy's last year he did a Grease Lightning type thing, so that was great fun as well. Good bunch of people, so yeah, that was a good one. And then for our show last year,
do you get nervous before you perform?
I was speaking to some of our other performers about this actually the other week, and I used to get really nervous, but nowadays I'm more nervous about everyone and because I've got responsibility for something not catching fire, or the sound going
so
right,
much.
or everyone having a good time, the horses, all those sort of things, the horses being happy, all of those things. I'm sort of more nervous about everything because I'm going in there. What I do in there with my horse this year, I could do with my eyes closed. The horse knows it, I know it. It's like I've performed for a while now, a fair few years, so it's now like I'm fairly comfortable with what I'm going in and doing.
That's crazy.
I enjoy being on stage.
Yeah.
I love being on stage. So I like maybe get a tiny bit nervous before, but when I'm on there, I'm like, boom, let's go. But nowadays it's more everything else. Yeah, I think when you go in there prepared, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not worried about something goes wrong, because usually it does, and you've experienced so many things going wrong and sort of dealt with it and made it part of the performance, and it doesn't become a worry now. What if something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you're more new to performing, you're like, what if it goes wrong? It does. It does all the time. It happens to everyone. It happens to the best people. Like I've seen some other people perform, some of the best in the world. They've seen it go wrong, and they've sorted it out, and it happens to everyone. So once you get that out of your head, and once it goes wrong to you that many times, and you just do different, you get over it. You make it part of the performance. You have a laugh, and
let's chat about some of the things that have gone wrong.
What's gone wrong? So this year, when you're riding and you're about to stand up on them, you sort of go around, you're sitting on one, you've got the other one there, and then you've got to push down and jump up and jump onto the saddle. So there's this one show, I've done this, bear in mind, like hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And there's one show, it was raining a lot, and I had a tailcoat on, and I pushed down to jump up, and as I stood on the saddle, I stood on my tailcoat, so I couldn't stand up, and then so I was trying to yank it, so I crouched back down because I couldn't do it, and I tried it again, and then my foot slipped, and I was lying across the horses. There it is on my Instagram page, lying across the horses. You're probably going to put it up, aren't you, on this
On the screen.
Yeah, lying across the horses, and I was just like laughing. I was like, how do I get out of this situation? And managed to scrawl and find a way and get back up, and that's because I hadn't done it. I'd done it 5 times in a tailcoat, but I don't train at home in a tailcoat. It's all gone right. All the other times it's not been wet.
Yeah.
And this time it was wet and the tailcoat, and it just made an absolute mess of it. So that went quite wrong, but it didn't go really wrong.
No, you recovered.
It looked a bit, but sorted it out. And then I was like, so I spoke to my friend that's performed a lot and done that. He's like, take your tailcoat in your belt, and then jump up and then pull it out.
Yeah.
Take a towel. I knew the towel trick. I was like, take a towel, wipe your shoes before you go on. I didn't. I got lazy that show. It was like, there you go. So yeah, that was Ben Atkinson. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
He was like, just tuck your tailcoat in, and I was like, legend. The simple things is like, yeah, absolutely. That's what I needed to do. So things like that. It happens all the time. I've fallen off in a show before. I was doing a trick where you hang upside down, and don't know why, I just let go. I didn't let go on purpose. I just overdid it and lost my balance, and there you go.
What's the crowd's reaction when something like that happens?
If it's you fall under the horse, like that one, I fell under the horse. Yeah. It was like this could be quite serious. So you just have to get up and get on with it. So at that point, I fell under the horse. The horse kicked me in the lip or something. I didn't feel it. Like, adrenaline's high. I didn't feel it. It was like one of those, you get up, you run down. Another guy was just like, wipe your face. Because as soon as the audience see blood coming down, they think the worst, don't they? You're falling under the horse, they see blood, you think the worst, all the rest of it. And it's a case of wipe the blood, smile, nothing's... As long as you're okay, which most of the time you are, because we learn how to fall off as best we can in most situations, and because you have to do it for film and TV, so you learn how to minimize risk and minimize injury, and it's like the show goes on, like the show has to go on. So get rid of the blood. If you know, like, get rid of it. Everything's all right. Smile. If something goes wrong, just smile. The audience don't want to know something goes wrong. They want to be entertained by a show. They don't want to see something go wrong. Although it does, hide it. Find another way as best you can. Like, own it. So it's sort of learnt that going on. However badly you think it goes wrong, because you know the show, they don't know. They don't know the show. They don't know what's meant to happen. They don't know what's not meant to happen. So you can work that to your advantage. I've fallen off underneath a horse and just had blood there. It's like, right, get rid of that. It sounds worse than it is. Wasn't that bad. And then we had another thing actually where we light the fire with like a gas lighter, like just like you like for a barbecue and everything else, and it went up in flames in a show as one of the girls lighting it, so they had to throw it, and it was on the grass, and it's like, because we've got two people untrained in the fire and someone else, it's like, right, grab the towels, grab the blankets, put it out, and it was nothing, but it's like, that could have gone really wrong really quick. And so again, experienced performers, minimising the risk, minimising the situation, stuff like that. Stuff can go wrong in any area. We had a show that the sound went wrong halfway through the show. The sound started crackling and the speakers broke, so we had to carry on the show without the speakers. I was fuming.
I was about to ask you, like, so something like that gutting.
It's gutting, but at the same time, like I was fuming. I got out of the show and I was like, right, I'm just gonna swap my horse out and go off and calm down, then go and speak to them, because it's like, that's a big show. That was at a big show, and I was like, it's my name on the show. The tech guys are being brought in to do tech, and the tech breaks. But then it's not always their fault. Like, stuff breaks, technology breaks. But I'm like, this isn't ideal. Halfway through my show, all the music's gone. Annoying, but it is what it is.
Yeah, because the audience is not going to differentiate that the tech guys, something's gone wrong on their end. It's just, that was Freddie Steele's performance.
Freddie's show, there was no music, so then the whole feel of the show, and there's a bit in there, it's a bit rubbish, you could hear, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Fortunately, we had a guy on the mic presenting, and the mic was still up, so he managed to sell the show with speaking over and make it happen, and we still did the show, we finished the show, things like that. But like you say, the audience associate the show with my show. They don't know that the tech guy's equipment's mucked up, or he's mucked up, or however way it goes. So that was an annoying one, but again, it happens. It shows, it's performing. Whether you're in the circus, you do a horse show, you in the theatre, it happens all the time. So it's one of those, look, we don't want it to. I take 3 copies of music. I've got my laptop, I've got my phone, I've got my MP3 and a 4 and my hard drive. So I'm like, one of these will work somewhere. It's all in order there. Take it. But it's part of it, part of learning. You just don't want it to happen at the big times, really. But
I want to speak about the film side of stuff.
Yeah.
Take me through that. How did you get into all of that?
So I got into that through when I started the stunt stuff. The odd job taking a horse to like a magazine studios in London, so where they're doing like a magazine, you'd have your horse on the front cover, you'd take it with the models, things like that. So I was involved in that to start with, and then would do things like an advert for one of the airline companies. So you'd take a horse that'd have to gallop through a bit, and they'd film it with a drone, things like that, music videos, more of the smaller productions. And then more recently, I've been working with Steve Dent Stunts, who do a lot of the horses for film and TV in the UK and abroad, to be fair, and working on some new Netflix series and stuff like that, and things like that. So it's sort of evolved a little bit. It's good fun to do. It's super fun to do. There's a good bunch of people, but it's not always the most reliable source of income, I suppose, because sometimes there's loads of filming, sometimes there's not. Last year there were strikes. There's a lot of guys doing a similar thing. Jobs come up, loads of things are filming at once, then nothing's filming. So I enjoy it, and I'm doing sort of bits in between there because it's good fun. It's good fun to do, and the guys on set are always good fun, and it's always a laugh. And you could be doing anything. You could be cantering through a refugee camp with tent pegs everywhere and explosions going off, and you got a sword and you got to chop all these sort of things. It can be as cool as that, or it can literally be walking from here to here 10 times. Go, stop, back, reset, half an hour, reset the camera, go again, back, go again, back, go again. So it's not all glamorous. It's not all action like the screens, the big bangs, the glitter, it's long hours. If you're in Wales, which a lot of film in Wales and Scotland, it's windy, it's cold, you're on a mountain in an uncomfortable costume. It's not all glitz and glamour, but it's a great bunch of people a lot of the time, and it's good fun. It's good fun making, and the cool stuff does happen in between as well.
I think I heard you speaking about like how many times you had to fall off in a day once.
Yeah, so some jobs you have to fall off. So I've never fallen off on a film because they get stunt performers. So I'm a bit of a stunt performer, but they've got a stunt register that I'm not on. I just do the horse stuff. Whereas normal stunt guys do the fighting, the falls, buildings, all of that sort of thing. So I've done it for a company before, for a safety equipment company. So it's like, right, fall off there, go again. Fall off there.
Yeah, this
again.
is what I heard
fall
you
off
speak
there,
about.
go again. So you gotta get up and do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So when they train for the stunt register, they train for a few years on how to fall. So although I've not done it through the stunt register, I've done years of training on how to fall. So you fall in a way that you can get up and you can do it again. Because quite often the time you can't wear a hard hat or a body protector or whatever, or an air jacket because you're in a film. Like you got to wear an uncomfortable costume and whatever they want you to wear. So you have pads on your hips, pads on your shoulders, if you can fit them underneath. You put pads where you can, and then you fall and roll, and you have to do it again. But by the time falling comes into it, and the higher the risk of the stunt, the higher the pay. So they always work it out like that. It's like there's still a chance of injury. Don't get me wrong, you're throwing yourself off a horse, but at the same time you do it in a way where it's possible to be okay and get up and do it again. So you get a paycheck at the end of it. So yeah, no, we've got another one coming up that I can't say but it's not in a film, but it'll be an advert, and quite a big advert for some new products being launched.
That's so fun.
That'll be a cool one. So, well, I say a cool one. I'm not looking forward to throwing myself on the horse again and again and again, but like you say, a cool product coming out, get paid for it. And it's when they're like, can you just fall off for free? Like, nope. No, I need to get up and work tomorrow. Because that's the thing of it. Like you got to weigh it up. It takes its toll on your body. Whatever it is, with the trick riding, like jumping down and up off the horses and vaulting all the time, your knees are hitting the ground, hitting the ground. And you got to justify what you're doing to how much you love it and whether it's a profession, and you can keep going doing it. So it's one of those ones where someone's like, just throw yourself on the floor. I'm like, we're gonna have a bit more of a chat than that because
you teach people to fall off properly, don't you?
So last year I launched falling off course. Actually, it was this year, wasn't it? It was at National Equine in March, so that was this year. So we've done about 8 falling off courses.
Because they really interest me, that.
Well, I wanted to give the knowledge we have in the film world and the stunts and the falling to normal riders, right? Because I'm not worried about falling off because I have to do it for a job. And I've done it quite regularly, so it's not like a fear of the unknown or a fear of something hurting, because yes, okay, you're not broken bones. It hurts a little bit, but it's a little bruise. It's not broken bones. It's not serious things. So normal riders, the lack of confidence a lot of leisure riders have comes from the fear of falling off, the fear of getting injured, and from there. So if I can work from there backwards on learn how to fall off, learn how to do it safely, learn how to minimize the risk of broken bones and concussions, and change that to sprains and bruises, suddenly you're not going to be as worried about not being able to go to work tomorrow or do whatever, because your injury is minimized and the risk is minimized. Plus you've got then to add on to that your air jackets, your body protectors, your hats, all your safety equipment, but it's giving people the knowledge, and not just the knowledge, having done it. So I've got a crash mat with a wooden horse and a step by step, show them how to fall off, slow-mo, then help them to fall off, then they do it themselves, and just go through the process. So
If someone wanted to book onto that lesson, how do they do that?
Again, on Cavago, I've got a page on there, Steel Horse page, the Falling Course it's called. So we've got one, actually the last one of the year is next Thursday. So the last one of the year in Buckinghamshire, there are still some
Are you doing them next year as well?
I will do some next year.
There you go, guys. We'll link it down
so
below.
We'll have some in next year as well. So yeah, it's learning the theory of why we feel fear, what fear is, why we feel nervous.
Yeah.
And then eliminating some of the reasons why, because some of the reasons might not be justified, just built up in our head over the time. So working out how to do that and how our mind works and things like that. And then from there, learning the physical aspect of the skills we need, get the experience learning to fall off. So it's not such a shock and in the dark when it does happen in a situation. So we minimise the risk, then learn what to do should it happen.
And do you think people have found your courses helpful and help with their confidence?
Massively, like so much good feedback. But the thing we're finding is, because it's so new, the concept of learning to fall off, it's not in the beach, it's not anywhere. People are reluctant to want to do it because it's not normal.
I'll be honest, I'm going to throw my friends in the deep end here. I said to them, I really want to go do Freddy's thing. And they're like, I don't get it. I don't get why I'd want to do that. And I was like, please come do it with me.
People, it's new. I get it. People like what they like, and they do their ways, they do things. But it's trying to get out, because the people that have done it have loved it, and they've shouted and screamed about it, and they've like, it's amazing. Some of them on Instagram that I've got now, it's like they go from nervous to hack out. They're going out, they're cantering, they're jumping, they're doing it. Before, when Meg fell off at Bicton, Meg Elphick, those that don't follow her, she had a fall, quite a serious fall, and then had a bit of a confidence thing. So part of it was this falling thing, and that's helped her go on, and it's massively helpful. Even if it just helps a little bit, it's most people it helps massively, like a big change. But it's the concept of learn. Why would, like your friends were, why would I want to go and do that? Because it's so out there and so not normal and not what they do. So I think as more and more people talk about it, more and more it happens. The more people do it, then talk about it. Like anything, the more it's spoken about, the more it will happen.
Well, I'll link it down below because I think it's so cool.
It's helped a lot of people that we've done it with so far.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've done like camps for other people. So say there was a dressage camp, we went to Aintree. So it was in Aintree, and then taught all they were a dressage camp. So taught all the dressage riders to fall off, because it helps any discipline.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you're going to ride horses, you're probably going to fall off. So it's like, right, let's minimise that, and minimise the risk. And like this weekend coming, I'm at riding school. So the riding school I learnt to ride at as a kid, they're like, can we have this in for some kids? And pony club groups as well.
Yeah.
It's like we teach the kids, we teach the adult, everyone. Anyway, it's like, let's learn this skill, and then you won't be nervous. And even if you're not nervous, it's another thing in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's another thing in your pocket, because it can happen to anyone. A loss of confidence can happen to anyone. I've had it in situations with horses, not specifically riding them, but maybe riding some horses in certain situations or doing certain tricks. I had a bit of a mind block with some tricks sometimes, because I fell off doing the trick, and it's like, this trick's quite difficult, bit of a mind block. How do we get over it? And it's the same sort of thing. Like it can go that quickly, but keeping the confidence up and working around it and working through it is is a hard thing to do. Anyone that's lost their confidence will know it in
Yeah.
any area. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's sort of there. I pushed that this year. I'm gonna keep pushing it a little bit next year.
I do think the more people find out about it, I think it'll become very popular.
Exactly
Especially
that.
because there's nothing out there like it.
No. So that's it, and
Yeah.
it's accessible because I travel around with my wooden horse, Spicy, and then the crash mats.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's good fun as well. It's a great laugh.
Yeah.
You saw it where at National Equine.
Yeah.
It's getting them all up there and screaming as they're coming off.
Yeah,
and
because we
whatnot,
did
and-
a lot of work. Atlantic Army's done a lot of work with Millie Stennett, and
Yeah.
you used her in your demo.
Yeah.
She's like, "You need to come along and watch it." I was like, "Okay, I'll have a look."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And yeah, that's where I first heard about it.
Great
and, yeah, it
laugh
was
as
so
well.
good. Yeah. Yeah. Let's speak about, obviously that's safe falling off.
Yeah.
Let's speak about your actual falls. Have you ever had a bad fall?
I fell off 3 times in one lesson as a kid into stingy nails. That wasn't my best point. But bad falls,
You've been all right, no broken bones? No, that's so lucky.
no. But then
But
again,
you're trained, I guess. That
I wasn't
helps.
trained as a kid. Trained sort of what, the last 8, 7 years. But like everyone says, as a kid you bounce more. As a kid you get up and do stuff and you roll and you're used to throwing yourself
Yeah.
around a lot more. As adults we don't. I've had more. I broke my bone doing stupid things, like on a pull-up bar. I was trying to spin around a pull-up bar like a gymnast. Obviously, it wasn't tied to the ground, but there you go. Right, a scar there, broken collarbone, broke my leg as a kid, something on a bike or something. Like,
Yeah.
a broken bone's doing stupid things, but generally speaking, with the horses, been fairly sensible, fairly minimise the risk. Train the horse as well, train yourself well, minimise the risks. And so yeah, falls generally they happen. You bruise, damaged ego, dust yourself down, get back on.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it is what it is.
Do you have any tips for confidence knocks, or obviously we're speaking about the falling off
Yeah,
thing, but like
yeah.
mental block, that kind of side of
Yeah,
it?
so we do a lot more in depth in the course, but education and experience builds confidence. So well, good education and good experience. So educate yourself, educate the horse on horse behaviour, how a horse thinks, how a horse reacts. Teach your horse the groundwork.
Yeah.
Don't be brave. Don't take risks. Do little steps. Little steps in the right direction are always going to beat taking a big step and risk it going wrong. So that's it really. Surround yourself with people that are going to push you, but push you adequately to little bits at a time. Because then you don't have not all the time. Obviously, you can have the big spills and things can happen, especially when you're competing to a top level and pushing horses to extreme. And even stuff can happen by chance.
Yeah.
Around the roads, hacking, whatever. But yeah, it's minimising those risks with your education, experience. Get a professional in to help. A good professional as well, not just anyone, because there's a lot that like get someone good. Spend the extra money on the extra price lesson if it's gonna put you in that right direction. And yeah, all those things combined, you're gonna generally have a better time with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a good coach and a good mentor combined with all the rest of it, like we've said.
I want to chat about kind of the last main topic area, the training side of things. So the other side of your business. Chat me through how that all started, how if people want to use you to put horses in, all of that.
Yeah. So when we were back 12 and the psychology stuff started, and then I did an apprenticeship there. That's when the whole psychology and training things really started. That was when the problem solving, how does the horse think, how does the horse behave, how does the horse act in the arena, but in life in general, in all situations, in the herd, how they act with each other. Because that's really what we've got to go off, body language, because that's their communication. They don't talk to each other. So learning about that and studying that and being fascinated by that is really where it stemmed from, because I am still fascinated by horse behaviour and how they think and do and what they can do. So nowadays we have all sorts in. We've got a cob in at the minute that was brought on really badly. He was really aggressive when I met him because he was owned by some people before. The current owner that's got me into help, that pressure washed him, so he was scared of the hose pipe because it obviously hurt him. He'd had his nose sunburnt by not wearing any, because he's got a really pink nose. So then he was anything around the nose, he'd want to rear up and attack, and food aggression because he wasn't fed properly. All these things being ridden because he wasn't really properly backed. It was just sort of come on, get on with it. So it's all really done rushed, and he just had no understanding of people, hated people because people always were bad and made him sore, and just all those sort of things. So he came in because his end goal is to be a mother-daughter share. So it's like, right, I need to now work with this horse to try and help him understand that people aren't bad, because he's now 5 years old and he's only understood that people are bad.
Yeah.
And even with the owner that's had him about a year, he's sort of followed, although they're great to him, he's got now this pattern of defense of what he's always done, what he always will do until it's changed. So we had to break this pattern that, right, if you give me something, I'll give something back to you. I'll get rid of your problems. I'll get rid of your being hungry. I'll get rid of your nose hurting. I'll get rid of your back being sore. I'll get rid of all the things that you've had before, all the associations you've had before that you've now put on people. So yeah, he's been in for 3 months. Started off on the ground. Started teaching him that if he looked for me for the answer, he'd get praise.
Do you start most of them on the ground?
Yeah. Yeah, all of them
Every
on the
single
ground, all of them on the ground. He'd then get praise, and he'd learn to look for me in situations. So then when this was just normal in the arena, I wasn't asking a lot of him. Stay with me, turn around, follow me, hindquarter yields if you want to go into it more, things like that. Just move your body in a certain way and I'll give you praise. So he started getting praise a lot of the times. He's like, I'm quite good at this. I can do this. Like getting confident. And then I'd correct him every time he went to bite or attack or pin his ears. But I wasn't pushing him very much. I was just asking him easy questions because I want him to get it right. I want him to build his confidence and start seeing people as giving back to him. And then from there, he's just sort of started realising that. For example, when we first put the sun cream on, he went up and he reared and he's like, all right, come back down, put it on slowly, come back down, put it on slowly, come back down, put it on slowly. But the rear was a lot less because we'd built a relationship before. And then he realised that actually, if he didn't rear, we'd take the hand with the sun cream away. So he'd be like, if you stay still, a little bit of sun cream, but then it'll go away. So he wants to get rid of the hand and the sun cream. How to get rid of the sun cream? Keep 4 feet on the ground. So he learnt that pattern. And then slowly and surely I could put it on for a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, because he's expecting it to go, and then take it away because he's expecting it to go away. So we just worked through like that, all the problems, and then on to ridden, and he's now at the point he long reins, he hacks, walk, trot, canter. He's had some kids on him. He's just like a pleasure. He's done some adverts. So he's just filmed a Premier Performance advert as the supplement company. So he's going to look super cool. I don't think it's out yet, but he's looking super cool in that, all loose, and so he's just like fitting in with our horses, what we do, our mentality here, and going then home. The owners will come, learn, be part of the process, learn how we've done it, the techniques, the timing. We've worked with them as well, so we can go back and then have a nice chill time to break that association he previously had. So I don't bring many horses in for training because I need time for time for my own. There's only so many hours in a day, so I'm quite exclusive with that. You can message me, and I'll sort of pick and choose the ones I think will benefit the most, fit in the most. But what I do more of now is sort of the 3 or 5 day horsemanship weeks. Right. So you can come with your horse, and you can have intensive training, 2 sessions a day for that amount of time. You can be part of the whole process. We'll do it together. You can work my horses and get a feel and timing of the techniques because they're all trained with the same techniques. And then take that away to work through yourself. So it's rather than me fix the whole problem, it's like I'll give you some help and tools and timing and feel and technique to work through some of the problem here, most of the problem here. So then you've got the ways to take it further forward. So I'm doing more of them nowadays. Because people want to be part of the process. and also it means I don't have a horse for 3 months, because if I'm going away filming or show or here or there, I've got to do that. So, for example, the deal we've got with the horse at the minute, if I go away for a show, he'll stay here. Some shows he can come, but ultimately the training's happening and he's fitting in with it. So it's more of that when they come in for the long term. But the short term ones are really kicking off. People are really enjoying them because I'm seeing quick results and people are being part of the process, so they can finish it themselves. They can be happy ever after and have the tools and techniques there with themselves. So
do you just do, I don't want to say like problem horses, but I guess in a way. So you've spoken about the problem horse.
Yeah, so problem horses is a lot of where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
But nowadays, actually, not.
Do you do anything just showing like what you do and teaching people that side of?
So I don't teach what we do in the shows as such, but what I do. So, for example, I had a horse that was in for 6 weeks training.
Yeah.
Now this horse was behaved perfectly fine, but was a bit fat, a bit behind the leg, and struggled to balance in canter.
Right.
So just general schooling stuff. So we had a chat, and I was like, well, I've got a show coming up. Do you want me to get him ready for the show? And his last week can be let's go and do the show. And she's like, yeah, that's great. So this horse came in, and I did a little bit of groundwork, but I'd done some groundwork when this horse was 4 and he was now 10. So when I backed him, I'd done some groundwork. So I knew this horse already. And so worked the canter, worked getting in front of the leg, picking up the right lead, building his balance, then started working him with fire. She was like, right, get used to fire because we're doing a show. And her thing was cantering out in public, with other riders, with other horses, without them getting excited. So that's when I'm like, well, perfect. I've got 6 horses in this show. They've all got to canter next to each other with fire. So we can't do that. So, we worked it with him that started getting used to fire. Then riding with others in formations, crossing, even did some sword fighting in there.
Oh, wow.
So that was really nice. So I used him for the show. He got all the training. He got the experience of the show, with the music, with the fire, with the other horses, with the crowd, with the whole situation, and was really, really great. It was a really successful one. Now I don't do that much because the horses have got to be a decent level to do the show, and although I can train so much, it's like Spanish and Lusitanos are what really sort of stand out. With that, they got to have enough quality and enough of the right brain to be able to do that. So the only reason he could is because he had a good brain for that job. But yeah, we do normal horse, if you like. We bring horses on in dressage, work in equitation, so the schooling side of things. We could teach them the obstacles. If hacking's an issue, we can work the hacking. But usually I find if it's more than just schooling, if say there's a problem like hacking, then that goes back to right, we need to do the groundwork. We need to. But if there's not such a problem and it's more just getting to the higher levels of schooling or things like that, or going taking a normal horse to bridleless or those sort of things, then obviously that's a shorter time frame that we can do a lot more ridding because there's less of a problem as such to solve. So yeah, we do a bit of that as well.
So you do loads of stuff basically. What does a typical day look like for you?
Oh my god, typical day. So
if you want to do like a week, you can do a week.
Okay, well, we're going to have to do a week because every day is different. So Monday, for example, could be I got a costume fitting for a film job, so I've got to go to London. So it'll be morning or afternoon. So let's say it's afternoon. The morning I'd come here, I'd work a couple of my horses, and I'd then drive to London, do the costume fitting. That's the day. The Tuesday, I'd then teach in the morning, maybe 3 lessons. I'd then come here and work my horses the afternoon through to evening. Wednesday maybe the same. Teach morning or afternoon, a couple of lessons. I don't teach that much. It's like a lesson, 2 a day. Go and do that. Train my horses. Wash stuff if I'm going for a show. The Thursday could be a show, so we're going for a show. So pack the lorry, wash the horses, drive to the show, unload, rehearse there. Friday could be doing the show. Saturday could be doing the show, then travelling home. Sunday I might have a clinic, so I might get home late Saturday night, sort the horses out. They then have Sunday off. I then take the wooden horse and the crash mat to somewhere to go and teach a falling clinic.
Just go, go, go.
Yeah, and in the summer, there's a lot of that. One day could be filming in between. And then I might have a quieter week. Like this week might be a quieter week, so I'll teach a couple of lessons, a couple of mornings of the week, then work my horses. It's like, right, let's get my horses further ahead and work them, because I've got what? Four to work here, soon to be 5. So it's like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
To boom, 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 do that, look after them, make sure they're all that stuff as well. Fit in farrier in between, back person. So that takes the time, and I want to prioritise that time because that's what's going to make the show better in the future. But yeah,
I feel like you missed something. Your social media side of stuff, because you do a bit of it. How do you find the social media? Do you enjoy it?
I try. Social media so it's not my main job. My main job is a horse trainer. But on the side, social media is super important for exposure, marketing, everything like that. So I do enjoy my page, my Instagram page particularly, and then I do enjoy updates on my training page on Facebook, the Steel Horse training page, of when clients have been here for like the intensive, and we do each day and how it's been and stuff like that. But a combination of all of it is hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It's a full-time job because people are like, oh, it's just social. And the guys that do it full-time, like, it's a job. It's a job. They're up till late, editing all the time. Or the ones that do the long-format vlogs, like fair play. Like, it's a full-time job. And I'm trying to sort of do
little bits
both.
and bobs.
Yeah, so it is hard work. I do need someone to do my social for me, or a PA, or something to take one side, because then you've got the other side. You've got your emails, you've got your reply message shows, you've got all of these things. So no, it is good. I like doing my page, but then I've got the horse holidays page, or the Lusitano page. That's a network for horse holidays and sourcing Lusitanos. So there's that page. There's the training page, which is Steel Horse, my training business, and then there's my personal. As well. I have started a show page, but I don't really put anything on that because do I really need 4 pages? Probably not. So yeah, that's hard to keep up with them all, but I do enjoy doing them, and I go through stages. Like I post every day, and then nothing, and every day. It's like when I trigger, it's getting that pattern to post regularly, isn't it? I think that's the thing of it, the consistency. But it's like anything, the more consistent you are at it, the more benefit you're going to get from it.
Yeah.
So like if you train a horse consistently every day for a year, you're going to have a better horse than if you don't do it consistently. It's the same with like socials. And so I try to do as much as I can. At least with my page, that's me, people will then learn about what else I do. So if I keep that page solid, and then the other pages have little different bits that are they're completely different. I don't put my client updates on my personal page, but that's all on the business page, and all the training stuff's on there. And then the horse holidays, so sort of occasionally advertise on my page, but they're all separate. So I think the more I do my own thing, it all will
filter out.
Yeah, it's all filter and stem from that. So yeah, that's the thing with the socials, and it takes time, and I wanna get to a point and have a YouTube channel going, but obviously I need time for that, and a film crew to come in and film it and do it. And I think the more time I can spend here, which has just started happening now with the show, because I've got to be here 4 hours a day to train my horses. So if I can be here 4 hours a day and have more time here, but then can make the money to be able to do that, I can then film that. But it's always the balance of, I need to be here to train the horses to get the shows, which will then pay my income, which will then keep the horses alive, but finding that other avenue that can then get the filming of the training of the horses and all behind the scenes, because that's where I want to go with it. It's like taking my normal new horse into, how's he going to become a show horse by next year? Let me film it.
Yeah.
But obviously I need the finance to have a film crew in and to do the film crew. I just need Pete, really. I just need Pete to come down and do this. But having a guy here to do it and edit it, because I've seen how long it takes them to film and edit it. And I've got to do all the rest of it. So I want it to be at a point where I can afford to have someone in to do that aspect and go straight in with high quality content. As someone's done it, that's their profession, that's what they do to do well. Because I want to stick to what I know and what I'm good at, and with the horses, and then bring the other people in that are good at what they do, not try and bodge it all, if you like.
What other goals do you have coming up, maybe for next year or at the end of this year?
The goal for next year is this show and these show bookings, to get as many show bookings as I can. So if you've got a local show, please email them, speak to them, because that's how they do it. Let them know that you want Spectacle of Equitation in there doing a show. The more of those we get, the better. The more I can train the horses here and stuff. And then deep in the works is an online program coming as well. So that's just sort of, it won't take off till the end of the year, maybe next year, but we're starting getting some footsteps in, launching an online program as well. So they're the
big bits.
The big bits for next year. Really these shows and creating this solid team. And then I want to compete at a high level in dressage. So I have got the Warm Blood that I said is going to be out at the end of this year. So long-term goal, how far can we get him? Can we get him to Grand Prix? How far can we go in that aspect? Because I do a lot less of the trick riding now. I still do the Roman riding, standing up on them, and I do trick ride, but it's a young man's game. And although I'm not ancient yet, like, I want to channel in other areas. So where that was at the forefront of my life for that many years, and I competed and everything, I want to now focus on the dressage and the proper riding, learn to ride a bit better, you know. Not against the show jumpers, because they ride properly as well, but in comparison to me hanging off the side, like, that's the proper riding is sitting in the saddle. So yeah, no, having that aspect improved of my riding, that's what I want to do. A bit more focus on me, my riding, this horse, and how far can we get? Because I've got a good horse with a good owner behind me, good trainer. So yeah, that's the new sort of challenge for me personally. Of let's improve my riding, that aspect, on that side of things.
Do you have any tips for anyone, kind of jumping back to the start, that does want to get into the trick side of things, or the archery, or any of the more those bits?
Yeah, in Warwickshire, there's the Knights of Middle England. They're very good for training both. They train horse archery, side saddle, trick riding, and jousting. So my friends teach there, very good. Some of the best performers in the country. So they're a very good place to go to learn that side of things. Because can't really go places and learn this stuff. Like, it's a niche. So they're really the hub of it in the UK for learning that. So I'd say there. If you're a younger rider and you want to plan to go into it in the future, mounted games, Shetland Grand National, Gymkhanas, all these sort of things that get you on and off the horses, going quick, like those things, great for confidence, great for moving around on the horse, to go into it in the future. Gymnastics, that sort of thing helps. And then just surrounding yourself in it as much as you can. So if there's a team you can go and help or groom for, things like that, that's really the way in, because it's quite closed, the circle and network. So it's like, whenever you get the chance to go and help on a set or a spare bit of hands or getting involved with these, like, do it, grab it, because as soon as you help there, show you're useful, look like, oh, come here and do this, come here and do that, come here and do that, and that's the way in, really. That's the way in.
So this podcast is called Beyond the Stable. So we've spoken loads about horses. I want to know what you do out with horses.
Out of horses?
Yeah. Everyone hates this question.
What do I do out of horses? Go on holiday.
Yeah.
Go on holiday. I try as much as possible, but when we go abroad, right, we have this all the time. Holly, my girlfriend's like, can we just go on holiday without horses? I'm like, let's go on holiday, but let's go find where the local run. So yeah, holiday without horses. We try and get one a year, strictly one a year, with no horses, because we know people abroad in all these places, and it's like, no horses, 1 holiday a year. And then, yeah,
Horses are your life.
horses. I mean, we went to the races.
That's still kind of horses.
I didn't wear horse clothes. We went to the races last week. Didn't wear horse clothes. Wasn't working. There's still horses there, but we weren't working. But yeah, don't really go out. Maybe the odd concert.
Yeah.
A year. The odd concert a year. Country, obviously. So yeah, we fit with the sort of cowboy horse theme. It's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah, but. Apart from the horse, they just, well, like you probably get on every podcast, they take up so much of your life, so much area. But we strictly have one non-horse holiday a year, and then an event, couple of concerts, a races night, a few times a year, as much as we can. Then the odd morning at home, doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like the odd morning when we can, once a month. I'm doing nothing today. Usually in the winter, because summer's like, you've seen the diary. Summer's like. That next thing. So in the winter, it's like, let's just have a breather.
Yeah.
Let's just have a morning in bed doing nothing, or a morning at home, or just but it's seasonal a lot of the time in this job.
Yeah. My final question for you is, if you could suggest someone that I should go and visit and interview, who do you think I should go see? It can be a professional, it can be an influencer, just someone that you think would be interesting, that the viewers might benefit from, whether it's inspiration or...
Maybe an equestrian videographer.
Okay.
Because it's a different angle of things. Now they visit a lot of yards. I've had a fair few here, and they go to all yards. They see behind the scenes of each yard. They see how it runs. They see how it operates. So that might be a little bit like... behind the scenes, beyond the stable.
Yeah.
there you go. Might be a little bit more. They've seen all the different areas, all the different disciplines, and people behind closed doors, and worked with top professionals, top influencers, lots of top horses in different areas, different countries as well. Been at all the events, so they might be one to sort of have a bit of an overview of all of it. And I think most of them don't come from necessarily a horsey background. They do and they don't, but it's that different side of things.
Yeah.
It might be quite a cool angle. I don't think I've ever seen one of them do a podcast either.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be interesting. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed speaking to you.
It's been super
I hope
cool.
you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been okay.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice.
Perfect. For anyone who has been watching, make sure you're subscribing if you're watching on YouTube, giving the video a thumbs up. If you're over on Spotify, make sure you're leaving a review. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
See you later. Thank you for having me.